Donald Trump says the US has struck key Iranian military facilities on Kharg Island, a small Iranian island key to the country's oil industry. The president said on social media the United States Central Command executed one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East and totally obliterated every military target in Iran's crown jewel, Kharg Island. President Trump went on to threaten Iran's oil infrastructure on the island if Iran interfered with ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump also posted these pictures of the strike. In response, Iran has threatened to immediately destroy and turn into ashes oil and energy infrastructure belonging to firms working with the US. This follows the news that the US is expected to send more ships and Marines to the Middle East. That's according to our US news partners CBS. The reinforcements are expected to come from an amphibious-ready group led by the USS Tripoli, which is currently in Japan. Meanwhile, the US Embassy in the Iraqi capital Baghdad has been hit in a missile attack. The strike caused smoke to rise from the embassy's building. Simon Jones has the latest.
The Iran war enters its third week. President Trump marked the occasion by posting these pictures on social media. It's unclear what's being targeted here, but he said Iran was totally defeated and wanted a deal. Strikes are being carried out on Kharg Island, Iran's main export terminal for oil. The president described it as one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East, which totally obliterated every military target on the island. Earlier, he was asked by reporters how long the war would continue.
I can't tell you that. I mean, I have my own idea, but what good does it do? It'll be as long as it's necessary. They've been decimated. Their country's in bad shape. The whole thing is collapsing.
The president said the oil infrastructure on Kharg Island had been left untouched, but threatened he could reverse that decision if Iran continues to interfere with shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, the vital passage for oil supplies from the region. Vessels continue to wait rather than risking the journey after this warning from Iran.
Attention all ships, attention all ships. Every navigating from the Strait of Hormuz is banned from now on.
There are reports the US will send additional forces to the region, including the USS Tripoli, an amphibious assault ship, and thousands of Marines, though it's not yet clear how they could be deployed. The Pentagon declined to comment, citing operational security. The Tripoli is currently based in Japanese waters, so it would be around 2 weeks before it would arrive in the Gulf. Despite President Trump's claim that Iran is finished militarily, Tehran and its allies in the region continue to target their neighbours. Smoke was seen rising from the US Embassy in the Iraqi capital Baghdad after it came under attack. The US says its mission is ahead of schedule, but it's unclear what the final goal is or how long that might take to achieve. Simon Jones, BBC News.
The Israeli military has issued an evacuation warning to individuals in an industrial area of the western Iranian city of Tabriz. The warning, published in Farsi on social media, was accompanied by a map outlining the designated zone. These images from earlier in the week are of an airstrike in the city. The message stated that the Israeli military would conduct operations in the area in the coming hours. And it urged residents to immediately evacuate the specified area, warning that remaining there would put their lives at risk. Param Gobadi is from BBC Persian, the Persian language service of BBC News, used by 24 million people around the world, the majority in Iran. He says that people there are struggling to access information.
They are saying that the regime that has been, beating on the drums of war for over 5 decades, now it has shut down the internet, so they don't know where and how it's attacked, if their family members are safe or not. And they like, unlike Israelis, that they have sirens and warnings on their phones. Iranians don't have that either. Plus, they don't have shelters as well. Israelis, when they hear the sirens, they go to the shelters. So they have sirens and shelters. Iranians have none of these. Plus, the internet is disconnected as well.
How are they getting their information?
So sometimes by calling their friends, sometimes rarely. Some people have Starlink, very few people have a Starlink. They may get connected every now and then, but even Starlink is extremely dangerous to have it right now in Iran, because Iranian regime has said that means cooperation with the enemy. That equals being a spy for the United States and Israel. So it's extremely dangerous to have Starlink in Iran right now, and very few people have it. Others, and the internet connection has become extremely expensive. The VPN, things you need to buy in order to get connected, is really expensive. So people spend a lot of money just to be able to get connected for a few minutes, to call their loved ones outside the country to say that they're safe and sound.
Yeah,
now going back to the question.
So Kharg Island,
Kharg Island.
The US saying it's attacked this Kharg Island, and how important it is in terms of the amount of oil that goes through it.
That is the lifeline for Iran, because over 90%, according to other reports, over 95% of Iran's oil export goes through this island. And China is the main buyer and consumer of Iranian oil. So they have attacked, Donald Trump said that they've attacked military bases there. An Iranian Fars news agency, which is close to Revolutionary Guard, has confirmed that some military posts and equipment were damaged there. However, they have also confirmed, as Donald Trump has also said, that the oil infrastructure has not been damaged. But we know that Donald Trump is extremely furious about what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz and the fact that it's being blocked. And if that continues, Trump has warned that they may decide to attack the infrastructure as well. And if that happens, something that has worked in Iran's favor, blocking the Strait of Hormuz, they have managed to exert a lot of pressure on Donald Trump by blocking the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices have surged, but that may change and the tables might turn. They need to be really careful, because a miscalculation can change things totally. And that, if that is targeted, it means 90% of Iranian oil export is cut off, and that can cripple the Iranian economy.
We're also hearing these reports today about possibly US Marines going into the area, and there is also speculation about whether the intention is to maybe try and get boots on the ground on this island. And for now, as you say, Donald Trump hasn't attacked the oil infrastructure there. I suppose that I mentioned that also because this shows that this isn't ending anytime soon, is it? If the US is sending more warships and then possibly Marines, this is, there's no end in sight.
You mentioned a very important point by saying that they might send the boots on the ground, because this is one of those, it's an air campaign. Well, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister, have both said that they are seeking regime change, probably Israelis more than Americans. However, that's the goal. But can that be obtained by airstrikes only when you don't have boots on the ground? I assume it's like 5,000 soldiers that are on the way, the Marines, if I'm not mistaken, then that is not enough. That might be enough for Kharg Island, but that's not enough for regime change. However, like I said, if the oil infrastructure is targeted, it not only cripples the Iranian economy, but it has long-lasting effects on Iran as a whole, regardless of what regime is controlling that country and what regime is in power. That can have lasting damage on the country.
Thanks to Param Gabodi there from BBC Persian.